Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So tonight we're going to talk about water. Training. Water. Water is good. Water is life. Clean water is good. America's waterways have been protected since 1972 by something called the Clean Water Act. President Obama expanded the definition of what was covered by the Clean Water Act. That decision was not taken lightly, and I will admit there were issues with it. But it was based on 1,200 scientific studies. Basically, we realized that waterways are connected. And the smaller streams, the smaller bodies of water that were not protected, feed into the larger ones. So it doesn't do any good to protect the main river if all of the feeder streams are being polluted, because they just roll into the river. Makes sense. I mean, this is really simple. Trump's undone this, and in the process rolled the protections back further than they have ever been. If this rule goes into effect, America's waterways will be less protected than they have been at any point in the last 50 years. This should come as no surprise to those who know how President Trump runs his EPA, those people he appoints. Although he is no longer there, Pruitt, one of Trump's appointees to lead the EPA, is self-described as being a leading advocate against the EPA. No surprise they're trying to undo any form of regulation to protect the environment. The rule was developed strictly by political appointees. It was such a travesty within the EPA that 44 employees filed a complaint with their inspector general saying that this rule had no basis in scientific consensus and did not take into account watersheds, basically the connectivity of water. This comes at a time when Americans are just freaking out over a virus that really isn't present in the United States in any meaningful way, as far as we know, but there's panic. I talked to a few of my friends who are environmentalists. They have varying opinions on how bad it's going to be. The one thing they all agree on is that this is going to kill people. Period. This is going to kill people. It is going to pollute waterways. We're going to have a whole bunch of flints, because that's what this does. It reverts a lot of things to the local level. So if a developer or manufacturer can pay off the local county commission, well, that's pretty much the end of it. Maybe not for that county, maybe one for downstream, which is kind of why this rule was put into place. That's why the Clean Water Act exists. And it's been unwound. So Trump's developer buddies can make some money. They can poison your kids to make a little bit of cash. It's really what it boils down to. It's all about the pursuit of profit. This decision goes into effect while the president is attending a conference where one of the main themes is to revert to stakeholder capitalism rather than shareholder capitalism. It certainly appears that the president is incapable of learning anything. I know there are a lot of farmers that are applauding this. Guys, understand, this doesn't just get rid of Obama's rule. It goes way, way further than that. If your water supply is tainted, your crops will die. This doesn't help you. It's one of those throwing the baby out with the bathwater things. This is going to be a mistake. This is going to be something that is going to have to be immediately undone by the next president. And if not, people will die. This is ridiculous. We have a complete incompetent person in the White House. Somebody who just refuses to be educated and keeps those who can educate him out of the conversation. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.